Alright, friends, we are back with the conclusion of the final zone. How it went down, what happened, kind of an explanation of it. So I'm going to do my best to explain kind of what happened and how we got to where we are now. So if we zoom out here, as you can see, we do have the dragon. Now, if you've watched my other videos, I don't know who chose yellow for us or why we changed our color. But if you've been watching the videos, you'll know that here is where we got pushed back to in the last video that y'all watched. This was the last location where we were. We had been trying all day in that last video for several hours to push back across this bridge. We did, in that first part of that video that you seen, got back across the bridge, managed to burn, I believe it was actually XX's tower that was here. Or it may have been, no, it was T1's tower. And we managed to burn that. And then once we did, Roots of War League happened. And so we had to call everybody back so that we could go do our Roots of War League match. And when we did that, obviously they placed another flag down and started building it while we were in Roots of War League. So we come out of Roots of War League, and they've got a flag down that's back up to like 80% now after we had spent the first hour and a half that morning I got on burning that flag. And so pretty much all the progress that we made that morning they have erased. And on top of that, because we went into Roots of War League and nothing was really going on for about, an hour or so, we lost a lot of our activity for whatever reason. People had to get off. It was later in the morning at that point. Just, whatever reason, our activity took a big dip down. And so the video that you were seeing recently was us trying to push back across the bridge and burn it and then hold it. Then pushing us back across the bridge. And we had eventually got down to where we didn't have but maybe 20, 30 people online just because it was coming into our downtime. And, it just is what it is. But, hold on one second. What? I'm doing a video. Oh, yeah. So, we had gotten pushed back here, and this is after spending Friday, Saturday, and then coming into Sunday on. So we get pushed back here. It's probably around, 18, 19 UTC, about 4 or 5 o'clock my time. And at this point, like most others, I was getting wore out, man. my both mentally and with troops. I mean, I had barely enough troops to run one mage march and an infantry march, and so I had to get off. On top of that, my wife was wanting to hang out with me, and so I hop off for that afternoon and start spending some time with my family. And like I say, some of us were getting very close to having to throw in the towel because we were just completely tapped, troops and resources and everything. But Rex are, well, he's not in this alliance, but I will show you who I'm speaking about. Our other builder war lead, Mr. Rex here, had an idea that he wanted to try. And I will explain that idea now. So, he wanted to come down, build down, and well, it would. I was talking about how we needed to force XX into a 1v1 because I knew we could beat them. But he come up with the idea of building down and dropping a bastion to where they have their fort. And I will explain that to you and kind of the idea he had. And then me and him talked about it and kind of come up with a plan. Now, before we even got into this zone, we built up to this pass to have a secondary entrance in case we needed it. And as you can see, we did. So what we did is his idea was to, obviously to come in through this pass, to come down and to drop a bastion on their fort right here. Now, as you can see, we built in, and XX had built across this bridge and in a manner kind of like this, and blocked this choke point off, and then they built around this way because, well, they were already built down this way, and so they built flags off of their other flags and come up and block this point off. And so what happened was I didn't get to participate in this part of the fight. I was asleep. But our uptime starts happening somewhere around 3 to 5 UTC in game. And so during that uptime, we had slowly built down to here. During our uptime, we pushed this choke right here. And XX defended it for several hours. And we managed to punch through their defenses. Once we did that, they kind of fell back, ported back over here in front of the dragon zone here. And they started running the dragon, trying to capture it. While they did that, we continued to build down and burn through their flags that they all had placed up here with little to no resistance. We built all the way down, burned through their territory, like I say, with little to no resistance because they had ported over here and quit fighting us and started running the dragon back to back to back. And at one point, they did get it down to about 2 million health, I think on like their first or second try. And then they end up failing. And so they continued running it back to back. I think they did it a total of 10 times. And by the time they had done that, like their 10th time, we were already built down to right here. And so what happened is by the time they got built down to right here, I was at work. And so they stopped. And at this time it's about 12 UTC or so. In game, 12 to 14 UTC. We stopped because that's, again, our downtime, and our activity at the time had dropped down to only about 30 to 35 people online. And so what we did is stopped here, built flags across like this to cover territory, and then also built burn, so our main alliance, over this bridge right here to hold this area. And once we did that, XX was still built through here across this bridge and across this way. And so, with them being built across this way like this to this bridge where they pushed us, we knew that T1 couldn't come up and help them up here. While they could march up there and help, they were very far away from their cities, and so once they died, they died. And so what we did is we waited until after reset, until after 00 UTC, until about, I think it was about 3 UTC that night, which would have been roughly about 10 o'clock for me, 10 o'clock p.m. That's when our people started getting back online, and we had gotten up to about 50, 60 people. And that's when we decided to go ahead and drop this bastion down. Now, once we dropped the bastion down, as you can see, the range is quite far. XX had put their fort right here, right on the edge of the river. And so we dropped the bastion here because we knew it would reach the fort, but the hindrance to XX is because we built across here. And where their fort was, they were going to have to march all the way around and up, all the way this way, to be able to rally our bastion. And we knew that, which is why we put it way over here in the corner. They thought that putting their fort here was going to be a big defensive protection, and in general, it would have, if we had chosen to push all the way down and march all the way around. But we didn't. We used the bastion because we realized that... Who is this? Oh, that's PHX. Alright. Because we realized that brute force just wasn't working. We were not going to be able to break through T1 and XX at the same time. And so we had to go back to doing, the basics. Being sneaky with it and making plays, and which is what we did, is we dropped this bastion. And so what I'm going to do is show you some of the footage of us dropping the bastion, and we'll be back here in a few.
Your bastion there.
Alright guys, we are dropping a bastion on XX. Let's see how this goes. The way we're standing, the rally has to come from that way, so we could literally just stand here and block the rally as long as nobody hits it.
Right, and that's why I wanted people to port in first, because if they also try and bum rush with a bunch of individual marches, then we can just go in between cities exactly like they did every time we tried to go through. But yeah, they have this one long road going past Phenom's castle before they get to the bastion.
Yeah,
Pluton got on him, and we kept telling him, "Don't hit him! Don't put the marker on him." We put the marker on Pluton, and he just kept. And then he went away from us. So I don't know if he had auto attack on or something, but then he went back, and then he ended up killing Miracle. He had just got there too.
Oh damn! Itachi, hey Ryu, Itachi just went into that city behind y'all. There he is.
Yeah, we see.
Well, with 20 min power, I get 6 min merit.
Damn, man.
It's
back up to
amazing.
96 million power. How much resources has he used, man?
11% done.
They got a little bit of people gathering up over there, but I mean, what they got gathering up right now, I'm not worried about that at all. Oh yeah, Guanwin's pretty nice.
Yeah. One win, her skill get more damage to the duckling, and keep piecing.
Alright, so XX, their little ball over there hadn't gotten any bigger, man. I mean, are they gonna try? Are they done? I'm just curious as to what's...
Yeah, Bastion's at 27%.
Yeah, no.
Or two, so it was a good move because we had all our ball there, and he just came up.
You got a flyer marked, Phenom?
I run, Thea Bahorn. They're both in. Matter of fact, last night I spent about an hour poking them.
Follow me. I'm right here beside you. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go over here and attack their fort. Poke it a little bit.
I really
time to wait.
Flying would be good, but it's so clunky.
It's good in situations like this. This is really the only thing I would use it for. Oh, Mello's
Let's see.
coming. I'll stay over here and keep hitting the fort unless one of the T5s show up.
Well, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with their ball if we start doing this.
That is the only good thing about those flying archers, bro. Their ability to sit further back like that and still attack.
XX will try dragon before the fortress falls. Probably not, but that's
RDD.
$4.
Where he did he blink into there or something? Where'd he come from?
He come out of Baba City.
Like the season's over.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Really?
Yeah.
He locked me.
If
Sound
if
like-
C6 is saying
Damn it.
If C6
Damn it.
6 is saying it, he knows it's over.
I got you. There you go. I blocked him.
We had pushed T1, we had pushed XX, and then T1 had been pushed us.
And so what you just watched there was about 2.5 hours worth of footage that was cut down of where we dropped our bastion down, thought XX and T1 would push up and try to defend it, and they essentially just did nothing. After they tried the dragon about 10 times back to back and failed it, and then once we dropped this bastion here and they realized how hard it was going to be to push this bastion and to win, also knowing that that XX did not have a rally lead, I think that could have broke the defense on our bastion. I think they knew then at that point it was going to be too hard to break that bastion, and they essentially gave up and folded and conceded the zone to us. Well, not necessarily the zone, but they conceded the dragon area. XX's leader, Sting Dream, did remove the fort and all of the territory that they had built in front of the dragon after they conceded. However, T1 did not, and so we end up having to burn through T1 and block the choke here. And then the very next day, they pretty much ported out of the zone. They still have territory here, but there's almost nobody in the zone with them. T1 also ported back to zone 1. And that pretty much concludes the 2 versus 1. I say 2 versus 1 only because we spent the large majority of the fight here at this bridge in this area in what was almost a 2 versus 1 battle. But we did have PHX coming through here and pestering them from the backside, as well as RLX, where they at their fort. RLX also coming through the backside. RLX just did not have very many people. They had maybe 5 people. Could be a little more, but really only seen about 5 of them fighting. There was Keenom. I think I said his name right. He was there a lot. He used calves a lot and would kind of come in and hit him from the back and kind of pester him. Same thing with PHX. But the brunt of the fighting came over here in the 2v1 fight. So that's why I kind of call it a 2v1, even though technically we did have other allies. And they played a good part in what they did, and they did amazing for what their abilities allowed them to do. And so I do thank PHX and RLX for their assistance in this and helping us win this season. I appreciate everyone for watching. And for the amount that we have grown recently over the last month or so, I cannot thank you guys enough. Appreciate and love each and every one of y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one.